All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am back. Just looking into the issue. It looks like it's smoothed out for now, but I'll just be hanging out with you guys here, talking about the balloons. If it starts up again, I might have to look into it further. I restarted everything. Again, as I mentioned before, we don't have issues. We haven't had any issues over the week as we've streamed to you guys. All of a sudden, I restarted the stream earlier, and we were having issues. And when I started just a minute ago, it was showing a decreased bitrate and was showing that there was some issues. But now they've just magically smoothed themselves out? Question mark? Yeah, everything is operating normally. I've heard Shiva says mic echo. Yeah, I realize that now. I'm hearing my monitoring is coming through the wrong output here. Can you still hear me? You guys should still be able to hear me. Okay. 69 sent me a video with the title Robo Nemico. So I guess I sounded pretty wacky there for a second. Yeah, the white noise in the background is actually audio coming out of Taiwan. I guess I'll go ahead and just mute that for now. You know, actually, I'm going to just lower the volume on it just a little bit. It's white balloon noise. As somebody said, white balloon noise, yep. So, okay. Okay. Can you? Does it sound bad again, or are we still good? Are we still good? I changed my audio monitor to a different device here. I should be coming in okay. Somebody said now sounds fine. Awesome, good, sweet. Awesome, sounds good. So yeah, for all those that are just tuning in, yes, they did shoot down. They shot down one of the. Oh geez, I hear some dogs barking on that Taiwan audio. They did indeed shoot down the first Chinese spy balloon. There are other spy balloons, but they shot down the first one. So that we now have confirmed. I have a bunch of footage of the balloon, which we were just watching before I had to restart the stream. Ivar Shiva says, how many and where? One is over Latin America somewhere, presumably. And the other was shot down off the east coast of the United States. I showed some footage of that earlier. Right now, I am trying to get the radar up on a different screen. Here we go. I'll open it in here. That's actually a good solution. There we go. Okay, that's the one. There we go. Sweet. Okay. So we have that, and then this one we can look at stuff with. So again, that footage of the spy balloon being shot down, which I showed you guys earlier. Put that back up on screen for you guys while we're sitting here chatting. Why are all these videos super low resolution? All of the videos I've seen of the spy balloon being shot down are like 240p, 360p, and 720p. So now again, it looks like we're having some issues. Yeah, right away. Yeah, as soon as I start doing stuff. Well, I guess I'd already been doing stuff, but for some reason now, again, randomly, we're having some issues. Restream is showing my connection is excellent. No problems there. However, I did see. Oh wait, actually, yeah, we have a graph. We have a graph of the bit rate. I'll take a look at my bit rate graph here. So my bit rate graph is, it spikes way up when we started, and then settled out, you know, to its normal bit rate, and then just randomly a second ago declined, and is now down at half of its normal bit rate, completely at random. Same with the frames per second. And you know what's weird is it comes down to like this baseline, and it's the same baseline where it was before we restarted. Very interesting. Very interesting here. Makes zero sense. The only explanation is the Chinese spy balloon. That's the only explanation. Balloon mania, as Hugo says. Yep, we've been calling it that the past few days. Balloon mania. Joe Blown Wind says Mercado Media is doing his Ukraine live update, and he's also buffering. Could be a YouTube issue. Yeah, could possibly be. Bainaz Bahomi says, my internet's doing this in Canada. It seems to be just one of those nights. YouTube has the stream, I should say, streaming in general. Sometimes you have nights of just wacky connection issues, and this is one of those nights. Yeah, looking at my analytics, my connection analytics is pretty interesting. Like, it spikes up and then settles out to where it's normally at, and then randomly, as we got into our stream, just, it's as if a switch has been turned. Very interesting. Joe Blowin says, are you watching OBS and its memory usage? Yes, I am currently watching the memory usage. I'm trying to get to the bottom. Yeah, you know, like everything resource-wise looks looks amazing. CPU utilization is prime. Memory is prime. I mean, we're only using 8 gigs, you know, out of 32. Connection's interesting. Some interesting send and receive activity, but my bitrate analytics from Restream are what is interesting to me. Joe Blowin says, I don't see any mods. There are some mods lurking about. I know 69 is in there somewhere. Carol C said, Revenge of the Balloon. I think that's what this is. Very interesting. Good morning, Speedy Squirrel. Nice to see you. Yes, Speedy Squirrel. The buffering is not you. We were giving a report. We weren't having any issues. I was on for almost an hour, and then all of a sudden, like 40 or 50 minutes into the stream, all of a sudden we started having issues out of nowhere with buffering. Some people saying some other streams are having issues as well. We restarted. It was working fine for a minute there. We were all good. And then all of a sudden, we started having the buffering issues again. As Speedy Squirrel says, Nemico, time to break out the emergency tacos. Think it might be time. Crushing Pie says, morning, Nemico. Hope all is well. Footage looked so cool this morning.
footage definitely was pretty cool, crushing pie, but we're having some issues with our stream here this evening. To everybody tuning in, I'm just working in the background here trying to figure out the stream issues. Stand by, everybody. Yeah, as I mentioned before, as Patty Wax says here in the chat, and as I mentioned before, I was able to stream fine for an hour, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, started having issues. Looking at the outbound analytics real quick. I'll post a picture of the outbound analytics so you can take a look at that. Paddywhack says, I'll keep you on my TV, Paddywhack. I'll keep you on my mind, Paddywhack. Or he says, I'll keep you on my TV, Nemico. Well, I'll keep you on my mind, Paddywhack, as we try to work our way through these issues here. So I have a cool report I'll read to you guys here soon after the, if we get the stream stuff figured out. 69 sent me some interesting, Reddit post that's pretty interesting. I'm here. I'm still here. Hey, good robot. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. We're having some issues with the stream tonight, but I'm working through them. Yeah, this one's definitely a head scratcher. Paddywhack says you're handling it well. Calm, cool. My anxiety would be lit. Um, well, for me, this is a technical a problem. You know, it's a challenge. For me, this is like a fun game, trying to get to the bottom and figure out what the issue is, what's causing it, and how we can fix it. It's like a fun puzzle for me in the end. Yeah, you know, it's unfortunate that, you know, it's in the middle of us when we're trying to give a report, but these things happen. Speedy Squirrel, that's out of the question. I already looked into that. All resource usage is looking good at this time. No issues to report in that department. This is definitely something connection related. Nemico chasing Nemico streams like a rogue Chi-Com spy balloon, says David Noble. Good Robot says, any news feed for some audio? I could try to do that here shortly, but it won't be much help to you guys because it's buffering so bad you won't even be able to use it. Well, like I could stream whatever on my end. It buffers. It doesn't buffer at all. Videos and stuff load just fine. Websites are loading. Everything's fine. But for some reason, our outbound connection to you guys, well, to restream and then to you guys, is what's having an issue here somehow. So we're trying to get to the bottom of that. Yep. Paveway J-Dam says, good night, sun. Good night, moon. Good night, Chinese spy balloon. Good Robot, thank you so much for those kind words. I'm still here, guys. Just looking into some issues here in the background. Crushing Pie actually messaged me and said he finally got the school bus for the comparison photo. There you go. That's more like it. I'll have to show that on stream here at some point. Yeah, Lily, that's not the issue. So we can actually handle like an enormous amount of cameras and tabs and stuff. This is an issue that has to do with the outbound connection to the server. Yeah, so like I was showing my my analytics graph for our bit rate, and it shows like that when we started the stream, it's perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden it's like a switch is turned on and it cuts in half, which really has nothing to do with things I have open on my computer. It's something with the connection itself. Timmy Two Shoes says, has solar activity been considered? No, but that's a possibility. Okay. All of a sudden the bit rate spiked through the roof. Barbara Brownell says buffering is gone. Yeah, all of a sudden it is gone. Crushing Pie says, yeah, strange, eh? I was the same, was caught up, and then suddenly 7 minutes behind. Yeah, see, now the stream health is back to normal. For those still listening, for those in the Discord, check out the graph I just posted in the general chat. It shows the bitrate graph, and it literally just spiked right back up randomly just now. That's why we're all good again. Yeah, Hugo says coming in clear now. You guys, the only thing I can explain here, the only thing that can explain it is that China is jamming our communications. Timothy Bahamathy says he is streaming faster than the speed of light. Now I am. Yeah, this is a very odd issue. I have money on, guys. We could put money down, have a wager that as soon as I start going to talk again and start giving reports, this is going to happen again. So it spiked back up and then has gone down to a baseline that our normal, the normal operating bit rate. Completely random. I didn't touch the stream rig or anything, guys. I'm not even touching that computer. The stream right now is totally hands off, and it randomly spiked back up. Like, I'm not touching anything. I'm on a completely separate computer right now. Crushing Pie says I'll put 20 NZD on. Is that New Zealand? New Zealand dollars? JMO420 says I've only been subbed for like 20 minutes, but take my thumbs up. Thank you so much, JMO, for subscribing to the channel. Glad to have you on board. Lily Scissorhand says, Nemico, you must be pretty important to China. Kree's Crazy Life asks, do I have Verizon? No, I don't have Verizon. My ISP is pretty solid. Pretty rock solid. And my connection is usually extremely rock solid. As most of you know, I stream, quite often with no issues. These issues seem to happen only when I'm giving reports to you guys. Only once I start conveying useful information do we have these issues. What's interesting is the gigantic spike up before it settles out. Yeah, so like it went from like its buffering bit rate of like 2K, all of a sudden shoots up to like 12K, 10 to 12K, and then now it's back down to its baseline of 5K, like 5.5K, which is what we're usually at. Very interesting. Hugo says, okay, now where's the other balloon? Let's take it down. It's in somewhere over Latin America, if it's still in the air. We're still like kind of unsure where it's at with this second balloon. We know there's a second balloon. The Pentagon confirmed that there's a second balloon. Good Robot says, Nemico, maybe you've made it onto one of Putin's naughty must-be hacked lists. We know we have been targeted by both Russian misinformation and bots and even cyber attacks during the early days of the war. So that's definitely not outside of the realm of possibility. Interesting that they would want to hinder this balloon stream, though. Yes, shenanigans, we are back. All of a sudden, the connection issues have mysteriously and quite suddenly disappeared out of nowhere. Quite literally, out of nowhere. Paduak says, Nemico, maybe adjust your rabbit ears. That brings me back to some memories, thinking of 90s and early 2000s television. Tyler Devine says, any updates? Just joined. Well, we were dealing with some stream issues, so we're trying to get that figured out. Cam, Mac Master Music. Well, we've been watching this spy balloon the past few days. Tonight, I was about to give a report on it. I was actually in the middle of giving a report on it. I was about 50 minutes into giving a report on the balloon when all of a sudden we started having some issues. With the connection. As soon as we started to talk about the Chinese spy balloon, as soon as we started talking, we talked a little smack about China there, then this started. As Vigard says, probably a China/Russia joint covert jam operation. Cam McMaster, yes, one balloon got shot down today, and now a second balloon is over Latin America. And China's not so happy about us shooting down the first balloon. Yeah, as Tyler Devine points out, he says, "I'll be honest. I would have thought China wouldn't have cared if we shot it down, since they tried saying it was only a civilian weather balloon." That's very true. Alexi says, "Thank God it wasn't an anthrax balloon." Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Carol C asks, "Weather balloon or alien?" Again, thank you to everybody that's tuning back in this evening after we had some issues with the stream, but we seem to have got them sorted out now. Paddywhack, if you're listening, you gotta refresh the page so you're caught back up. I feel like you're a little behind. So for those just tuning in, just stopping by, again, we're talking about the Chinese spy balloon that was shot down today, and also discussing the other balloons, which are currently up in the air. Dead asks, any activity in retrieving the down balloon? We believe they have already retrieved the pieces and parts of the down balloon. They did that almost immediately as soon as they did. They already had boats underneath it ready, at the ready. Yeah, bitrate analytics are looking pretty good right now. Everything seems to be normal for now. Yeah, as Seraphic says, much better feed now. Yep, we are right back up to our normal operating bitrate. AP says, he asks, location of other balloons and how many? There's one over Latin America where we don't know the exact location. The one over the U.S. was shot down, and then there was another supposed balloon in Canada, but we believe that that was just a communication error, and that there isn't an actual balloon hovering over Canada. But again, I don't have concrete information on that right now. Crushing Pie says the skies seem very quiet this afternoon. Well, it is a Sunday evening. After all of the chaos that has occurred today, Everybody's kind of taking a break. Marcia Barga says, I thought there was a second one over the U.S. I haven't heard anything of a second balloon over the U.S. as of now. Oh, well, it is Saturday. Good robot. Yeah, you're right. It's Saturday, not Sunday. I'm all over the place. It's almost Sunday. It'll be Sunday in like 30 minutes. Saturday evening. Sunday for crushing pie down in New Zealand. It's Sunday for some people. Good robot, I'm right there with you. He says, been working so much I constantly forget what day it is. I'm the same. I constantly forget what day it is. Yeah, so they not only did it, they performed a ground stop at multiple airports in the Carolinas on the East Coast before they shut it down. They also opened up. They basically like restricted a bunch of airspace around the balloon for like miles, and so that they could shoot down this balloon safely. Vigard says Sunday morning here in Norway. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, Vigard from Norway. Glad to see you. So for now, it looks like the streaming issues are taken care of. They could probably start right back up as soon as they went away. As quickly as they went away, they could start right back up. Still looking into the issue here on my end, seeing if I can figure out what caused it. Marcia says, Nemico, I missed your voice. I missed you, Marcia. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Yeah, skies are more or less pretty calm this evening. I mean, we have a few military aircraft buzzing around here in the U.S., but other than that, it seems to be business as usual. I feel like the hype, the balloon hype, has died down quite a bit, which I'm grateful for. The balloon mania was a little out of control there for a minute. I feel like everybody is, a little bit more settled now that the balloon has been shot down. There is another balloon somewhere over Latin America at this time. However, we don't really have any updates coming out from. Again, it's kind of hard to get concrete information on what's going on down in South America as for this whole balloon situation. I've seen a few reports. It was confirmed to be a second Chinese spy balloon. We do know that much. Marcia asks Nemico, "What's your opinion on these balloons?" As I stated in previous reports, I believe that they were a show of force and kind of an escalatory move here by China, more than anything. Of course, they were most likely gathering, some signals intelligence, some reconnaissance, possibly like visual reconnaissance, maybe radar reconnaissance, etc. However, I don't believe that was the primary goal. I believe the primary goal of this was an escalatory move by China. This was flexing by China. So apparently Forte 12 just took off below Italy. That's very interesting. I wonder if it's heading up towards Ukraine. We'll have to keep an eye on that. As Seraphic says, yeah, testing our response. That's another reason, another primary reason why they sent it over. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I have to grab something. I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Crushing Pie says Nemico will keep an eye on it. Yep, that's the slogan. Dead, you know it. Classy Panda says, imagine if they send 1.5 million balloons next time, like Cleveland's Balloon Fest of '86. I don't know if we could handle that many balloons with how crazy everybody freaked out with one balloon. If they sent 1.5 million, we would surely be done for. So Gen T asks, any new detail, Nemico? The only real new details that I have as of now are the Chinese response to this whole thing, which again they are pretty pissed off about it. They came out with some statements earlier, basically saying that they have the right to respond to this downing of their what they called a civilian weather balloon. So I'm not so sure why they're so angry about it. And then also that we have another balloon still hovering over Latin America at this time. So it's interesting that we have two stratotankers flying over the Gulf here currently. We also have a P-8 Poseidon in the air over Texas this evening, doing some loops. Paddywhack, yes, we can read you loud and clear. Thank you so much for your persistence. Mad Margarita says, I think the F-22 was about 58,000 feet and the balloon was at 55,000 feet when it was shot down. I thought the F-22 was below the balloon, but I could be mistaken on that. Good Robot says, is it true that the balloon dropped to around 20,000 feet being shot down? See, that's what I thought, is because it looked like the balloon had dropped in altitude. I don't have any official reports on that yet that I've seen, but it did look, even visually, like the balloon had dropped in altitude significantly. Mad Margarita says that's what they said on Fox. Well, if it was said on like mainstream media, they probably got it from a Pentagon press release. I know the information has been all over the place tonight. Fallen Rays, thank you so much for tuning in, stopping by. We've recovered from our earlier stream issues we were having. Good Robot says, I can't remember where I saw that. It could have honestly been from you, Nemico. I never watch mainstream media. Well, that's good. That's good. Good Robot. Try to get as much of your news as you can from the source. Go look at what the Pentagon says itself. Go look at like what their press releases are, instead of reading something from the mainstream media. I mean, however, I should say, even here sometimes we look at mainstream media reports. It's sometimes it's good to see what their different perspectives are, or sorry, what their different versions are. You can. I mean, in fact, I used to show that quite often when we were covering the Ukraine war. I would show like how one news outlet is covering a story versus how another one is covering a story, and you could see the differences clear as day. Crushing Pie says, Nemico, yeah, even for the videos, you can see the quality is way better and the balloon was way bigger, even for a smartphone camera. Yeah, I noticed that. It looked like the balloon had definitely dropped in altitude. I don't have any confirmation on that, though, yet. We know, like, there were some early reports that it had dropped in altitude slightly, but not that much. Evan B says, rumor of balloon in Canada. Nothing confirmed, though. Yeah, there's been a rumor floating around all day that there's another balloon in Canada. We know for a fact there's a balloon in Latin America hovering somewhere over Latin America at this time. Classic Pata says, mentioning the Ukraine war, any report from Bakhmut? Saw somewhere earlier that Russian forces launched a large assault. Yeah, we're tracking the situation around Bakhmut, and I plan to do a full report on that this Wednesday. I might do something on it sooner than that, but I want to make sure I have all the information first. Pattywax says, Nemico, I heard that there are 3, well, 2 now. Yeah, we've also heard that as well. Initial reports were that there were 3 balloons. Again, one has been shot down now. Yeah, they shot down one over the eastern coast of the United States. One second here, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be right back. AP says we say there's a balloon in Latin America only because the Pentagon, said so, but there's no balloon news on any foreign webpage. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really heard. Again, as I mentioned earlier, there's really no like concrete information about the balloon in Latin America except that the Pentagon has confirmed that it exists. That's it. You know, honestly, I might have to build my own spy balloon. I mean, when it comes down to it. Demented Chaos asks, so what happened to the stream earlier tonight? We don't know. We think the Chinese government, the PLA, were actively jamming our stream. No idea what happened. We looked into it for quite a while, tried to get to the bottom of it, and then it just mysteriously disappeared. JB Boss says F for balloon. Yep. Can we get some Fs in chat, guys? Fs in chat this evening for the balloon. Yeah, come on, guys. F's in chat for the balloon tonight. JB Boss says F for Comrade Balloon. Yep. F's in chat. F's in chat, guys. May the balloon rest in peace. Big F for chat. In big F. Sorry, big F for the balloon. The balloon flew well. He flew well. Yet the balloon also flew too close to the sun, it would seem. We only knew the balloon for a short time. But what we knew about the balloon was that the balloon was a good soul. You know, it tried its hardest to spy on us. It didn't give up. It did not give up until the until the last minute. It did not give up. JB Boss with the super chat. Thank you so much. Says right on, Nemico. Right on to you, JB Boss. Good on you, man. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening. Evan B says a beautiful eulogy. Well, I mean, somebody has to give a eulogy here. You know? It's like we all got to know the balloon. You know, as Phyllis Musquad said, yeah, he was a quiet soul, but I feel like we all knew the balloon in our own way, you know? We all had our own relationship with the balloon. And, today we lost a friend. We lost Balloon. Rest in peace. F's in chat. Dead says, reason why the stream went down was you hit a nerve with what you were talking about at the time. I think so. The Chinese just weren't having it. I talked a little smack about the Chinese government there for a minute, and all of a sudden the stream started having issues. No idea. As Good Robot says, the balloon was a quiet soul, but its presence spoke volumes. Indeed. I couldn't have said it better myself, Robot. Mad Margarita says, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing more balloons here in the next few months. Possibly. That would be interesting. As Lotus K says, we have to learn to buy locally made stuff or choose products not by China, wherever/whenever available. That's what I do. Look for alternate made by another country to spread the wealth. I like to buy a lot of my stuff made in the USA. Of course, I live in the USA, but I agree with that statement, though. Kind of diversifying where we get our goods from is important to some degree. Creed's Crazy Life says, I want a piece for a souvenir, something to remember it by. Yeah, I'm in vote of, having the balloon cremated, and then we could all get a little bit of its ashes to inter wherever we feel, is right for each and one of us, because we all had a different relationship with the balloon. So, we all should, be able to get a portion of its ashes to spread where we, think the balloon would want, where we feel is right. As Stu says, yes, Slava balloon. Slava balloon. The balloon was a beautiful soul. He was a simple soul, very humble. Yeah, you have to think, how brave that balloon had to be to fly its mission all the way from China and go up against those big bad F-22 Raptors. As Carol C says, it shone bright, but for too short a time. Indeed. Indeed. Cinex says Forte 12 appears to be holding a circular pattern off of Italy via flight radar. ADSB appears to stand still. Yeah, that's we determined originally when we were first tracking the Fortes back before the Ukraine war started that circle holding pattern that it does at the beginning of its flights is like a calibration phase. It happens every time Forte goes up in the air. Every time they go up, they do like a few circle holding pattern, for a while. Like a small circle holding pattern for a while, and then eventually they head off to their destination. I guess would be the destination would either be Europe or the Black Sea, if it's taking off in Italy. The blue screen is not really a blue screen. It's just a picture of the Chinese spy balloon after it was shot down as it happened. The planes on the map you see. In fact, we can just hop over to that real quick.